Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the fourth and final workshop in this series. I'm Siddharth, Product Specialist, IT Security Solutions team at Manage Engine. It's a pleasure to have you all here. I hope my voice is audible and there is no glitch in viewing my shared screen. In case of any difficulties, please let us know. Last week, we had looked at the file integrity monitoring using EventLog Analyzer. As we had mentioned last week, this week we will be looking at the search feature of EventLog Analyzer. This is particularly useful for network troubleshooting and forensic analysis. We will be going through building complex search queries with the search options available in EventLog Analyzer. Then we will look at extracting forensic reports, creating alert profiles from search queries for proactively mitigating future threats, and we'll also be looking at backtracking security attacks, why it is important, and how we can go about it. But why is the log search important when we already have all the reports and alerts in place? In our previous workshops, we looked in detail at setting up auditing policies and how to monitor access to your confidential data through the file integrity monitoring. However, that is not enough. While you may be getting the alerts in real time, those are just the indicators of compromise. You also need to learn what happened backstage, such as how the attacker managed to access the particular resource, and also analyze the loopholes in your network security. These answers lie in the forensic analysis through the log search. It also helps you to speed up the process of the attack discovery and to contain future threats with the same pattern. In the first part of the workshop, we will be looking at building complex search queries with the easy-to-use search functionalities of EventLog Analyzer. And in the second part of the workshop, we will be looking at how we can backtrack the security attacks by performing forensic analysis through the log search. So let us get started with today's workshop. Please try out the same tasks in your setup and let us know if you have any queries on the live chat. So we are going to be looking at how the search functionality of our solution empowers you to easily connect the dots of your log data. The various search options allow you to intuitively build complex search queries and easily save the search results as a report and the query as an alert profile to mitigate the future threats proactively. So to do this, navigate to the Search tab and select the interval for your logs. I've chosen my log interval period as the last 30 days. You can see all the logs right here and that there are hundreds of thousands of logs right here, and we want to be looking for something specific amongst all of this. The first step in narrowing down the search criteria is to select the log type. I'm going to be selecting the log type as Windows Event Log. Once I've chosen my log type as the Windows Event Log data, the solution presents to you all the Windows Event Log data across all the hosts. You can see that right here. But we want to further narrow down to a specific user on a specific machine for a specific event, say a super logon. Now I can type out my search query for a specific user right here in the query box, something like username equals. But rather than doing this, I can use the much easier and efficient click-based search option by simply clicking on the username field in the log message. So I'm going to click on the username field right here. This will display the top active users in ascending and descending order, and you can click on any of the users. So I'm going to click on this user Vivin, and you can see that the query is automatically generated in the query field right here. Now you need to select the host in which you want to monitor this user's activity. Click the host field in the log. This will again display the most and least active hosts. Click on a specific host and you can see that it automatically gets added to the search query field. You can see that right here, the host ADMP app1 has been added to the query. And you can get the log data for the specific user on the specific machine ADMP app1. To further narrow things down, say you want to track the special logons of this particular user on this host. Click on the event ID field. This will list out the events performed by this user on this host. As we know, 4672 is the event ID for a special logon. Click on the required event ID. I'm going to click 4672, and again the query gets populated automatically. So you can see the query here, the host ADMP1, username equals Vivin, and event ID equals 4672. So now you have the logs for the super logons of this user on this host. You can see that the event ID and the host and the username have been highlighted in the log message. Thus, you can easily create any complex search query with a click-based search. Now I want you to try the click-based search in your setup and let us know if you have any queries on the live chat. Once you are done, let us know using the hand raise option. I hope you are trying out the click-based search option and hopefully you aren't having any difficulties with this. You also have the option to export the results of this search as a PDF or a CSV file right here in the export to PDF or CSV. You also have the option to save this search as a report and have the report generated at periodic intervals. Click on the Save Search link next to the Go button. This will take you to the Add New Report page. Provide provide a name for the report, say super logons or maybe super logons by Vivin. Then specify the time interval. You can choose on which day and at what time to generate the report. So say we want to generate the report weekly, generate the report on Monday at 9 a.m. Then you need to choose the format of the report, which is either a PDF or a CSV file, and then the email ID to which you want to send the report to. So I'm going to enter the email ID. Once you are done, click on the Finish button. You can see right here that the report gets added to the My Reports tab, and clicking on your report will take you to the Search tab where you can view the log data. You will also be getting an email of this particular report at the specified time. Now, in addition to saving the search results as a report, you also may save the search query as an alert. To do so, click on the Save as Alert link right here. This will take you to the Add an Alert Profile page. Specify a name for the alert profile, say something like Super Logon Alert. The severity is set to high. As we've already specified the host in the search criteria itself, the host is updated here also, as you can see, ADMP app1. And the alert criteria is also set here, that is username equals Vivin and event ID equals 4672. All you need to do is to specify the mode of the notification. Select your mode of notification as the SMS or email, or you may also run a script when the alert criteria is met to proactively mitigate security threats with the Run Program option here. I'm going to be choosing my mode of notification as email. And once you choose your mode of notification, click on the Add Alert Profile button. And there you can see that the alert profile has easily been added instantly. Now, whenever the particular user tries to perform the specific event, which is a super logon in this case, on the mentioned host, you will be getting a real-time alert notification. Now that we have seen how to build search queries using the click-based search and how to save the search results as a report and create an alert profile, I would like you to try the same in your setup. Please let us know if you have any difficulties on the chat. And once you are done, let us know using the hand raise option. I hope you are trying out the search feature in your setup. I'll quickly go through the steps one more time. You first need to go to the search tab and specify the time interval for your log search. Once you have specified the time interval, next you need to choose the log type, which in this case I'm choosing as Windows Event Log. Then you need to select the fields through which you want to build the search query to narrow down the results. You can choose, for instance, a particular user, then a particular host, and then a particular event ID. For instance, if I'm choosing the username, I just need to click on the username field in the log message and I can easily select the particular user. After building the search query in this fashion, you can save it as a PDF or CSV file or save the search results as a report or also create an alert profile for this search query. Please try this out and let us know once you are done with the task using the hand raise option. Hopefully you aren't having any difficulties with the click-based search. Now let us look at the other search options available in the product. The first is the wildcard search, which allows you to search the logs even if you know only a part of the log message. And the other is the range search, which allows you to use the search of the log data over a particular range, such as a range of hosts or IPs. So let me choose the log type as all log types and click go. Now you can see that in the log message, there is a field called the process ID. Say you want to search the logs based on a particular process ID, but you aren't sure of it completely, you can go for the wildcard search. Normally, I might type in a query in the query field such as process ID equals some 0xb88, and when I click go, it will show me all the logs which have that particular process ID. But say I don't know this process ID completely, I can type in something like process ID equals *88, and this will return the search results for log data where the process ID ends with 88. So you can see that this would be useful when you know only a part of the log message, in this case the process ID. Now say you want to generate a report for an activity that happened only for a specific set of remote hosts for a range of IP addresses, then you can go for a range search. So let me clear this search first. I'm going to choose the log type as syslog. Now I can specify a range of IP addresses for the remote host in order to perform the search. So in the search query field, I'm going to type in remote host equals, and in brackets, I'm going to specify the range of the IP addresses. Once I've typed the range, I'm clicking on Go, and you can see that we have narrowed down our search to a specific set of remote hosts, and we can do the same for any users or any other sequential field in the log message. You can use either of these searches or a combination of them to build your search query. Now try this out as well as the wildcard search in your setup and let us know if you have any queries. Once you are done, let us know using the hand raise option. I can see that most of you have finished with the search in your setup. Hopefully EventLog Analyzer has made the search easy and none of you are having any difficulties. So now that we have looked at the various search options available with EventLog Analyzer, let us have a look at the backtracking of security attacks. Why is this backtracking of security attacks important? This is because it helps you to understand how the attack happened and how the attacker managed to intrude into your network. You will also be able to assess the data loss and look to fix the security loopholes in your network. And most importantly, the information that you get about the attack pattern, with that you will be able to proactively mitigate such future attacks. One of the key things to understand, however, is that not all security threats can be proactively mitigated. Often, organizations aren't even aware of the occurrence of an attack until a third-party vendor notifies them. To understand what limits the speed of discovery, you need to first understand the various stages of a security attack. Typically, security attacks involve four stages. The first is the network examination, following which the network intrusion occurs, and then there is an exploitation of your data or critical resource, and finally escaping the network without being noticed. This is what an intruder would try to achieve, starting with examining the network and finally trying to escape the network without being noticed after the attack. The issue for security administrators is that it is very difficult to differentiate a normal event from a network intrusion event. Say for example, an attacker is trying to access a web server. The firewall would usually block the access only if it is from a malicious IP address. Obviously, you can't go about blocking every other IP address as it will affect your business's continuity. Once a network intrusion occurs, the speed of the attack accelerates and we need to contain the attack to minimize the data damage. You need to be able to speed up the detection process in order to cope up with the speed of the attack. And here is where the real-time detection and alerting system comes into play. The file integrity monitoring feature that we looked into last week also helps to find the indicators of compromise instantly at this stage. However, you also need to find out how the attacker gained access to your network by bypassing the firewall and the IDS IPS to learn the security loopholes present in your network. And here is where the forensic analysis comes in. To summarize all of this, to speed up the discovery of attacks, you need to identify the indicators of compromise and set up alert profiles to get real-time notification whenever an indicator of compromise occurs. And as the alert is triggered, you need to backtrack the incidents to get the full plot of the attack. And finally, you'd want to save the search query to mitigate future attacks of the same pattern. Let us look at a typical use case. Say an IP is trying to access your web server, and let us assume that it is from a non-malicious source, as a malicious one would have been blocked by the firewall and IDS IPS. If the attacker isn't using a suspicious IP, it doesn't get blocked by the firewall and the router allows the traffic. Next, it hits the IDS where the first indicator of compromise comes. The IDS scans the message request, and if there is any suspicious content such as running a malicious script, the log will be sent, and with all the alert profiles of EventLog Analyzer, you can instantly block it. But say you miss this, then the attacker moves forward and tries to access the web server to try and run the malicious script. This is another indicator of compromise for which you will get an alert from EventLog Analyzer. Now you can probe into the incident to see if it was actually an attack or a case of a false positive. Say you are going through the logs of your web server wherein the indicator of compromise occurred, you will be able to see a request in the request field of the log data trying to access the web server through maybe an open SSL connection. And then you might see a request to run a script which you suspect to be malicious. By using the click-based search of EventLog Analyzer, you can click on the IP address and you can get the details of the IP's request to that particular web server. Following this, to backtrack the IP address to see where it hit your network, you can key in the IP address in the search field and find out the IP's activity across your network. You can also go through the logs and see that the IP hit the IDS, and if you had set up an alert profile, you would be getting the alert. In the same way, you can also look at the log data of the firewall and router as well. In this way, you can get the complete plot of the attack, and by examining the logs, you can find out if it was indeed an attack or a case of false positive. After that, you can save the report for internal auditing and also have the option to save the alert to prevent the same attack from happening in the future. I will give you a minute to continue exploring the search functionalities of EventLog Analyzer and try saving the search results as a report or the query as an alert profile. If you have any queries regarding any of this, please let us know on the live chat. And once you're done with this, let us know using the hand raise option. Let's have a quick recap of what we looked at today. We went through the forensic analysis using the log search, which included looking at the search options available with EventLog Analyzer, then building complex search queries to conduct the forensic analysis, then extracting the forensic reports. We also looked at creating an alert profile from the search queries for proactively mitigating future threats, and we also went through the topic of backtracking security attacks. If you have any queries, please let us know on the live chat. Also a reminder that this is the final part of our workshop series. I hope the entire series was useful. Please take a minute at the end of this workshop to fill up the feedback form and let us know your suggestions for future workshops. Stay tuned with us for more future workshops. Once again, thank you so much for joining us and have a nice day.